everyone, welcome back. This is our book of the week for this week. It's called The Curious Garden and it's by Peter Brown. I'm going to read this on the table, so you won't see my face, but you'll hear my voice because there's a lot of cool little details in these pictures that I really want to show you up close so you can see them, okay? Parents, feel free to pause the story and come back to it later. It is a little bit long. And feel free to pause if your child needs more time to answer my questions, okay? See the email in the email for further questions to ask your child and follow-up activities to do regarding this book, okay? Enjoy! The Curious Garden by Peter Brown. Peter Brown wrote the words and he drew all these beautiful pictures, you guys. So on the cover you can see a little boy sitting on top of a tree with a watering can. And look at the bushes around him. What kinds of animals do you see? Oh my goodness, even the animal that the bush looks like is around it. Look. Wow. Very cool. So this is the front cover. I want to show you the back cover too. The back cover says, "One boy's quest for a greener world, one garden at a time." I know we really like to find matches in the book, so maybe we can find the picture matches for these pictures on the covers. All right. Oh, I see a tiny little patch of green over here in the corner. And everything else looks dreary and dark and dirty. Ooh, The Curious Garden. Look at you guys. The words, The Curious Garden. G. Like Gabriel's name. G. Garden. They made the letters out of different things like bricks and bushes. I wonder if you could find some sticks or some leaves or pine cones or anything like that to use outside and spell things like maybe you can spell your name with those things. That would be neat to see. Send me pictures. All right, here's the first page. Wow. Look at that village or city. I noticed a lot of buildings all over the place. And I also noticed lots of smoke from the buildings. Those must be factories. Oh, I also see this big, it looks like a train track or a railway track, but look at it, it's kind of broken. Maybe like it hasn't been loved in a while. Maybe it's not used anymore. So now I'm going to read the words for this page. They're up here. There once was a city without gardens or trees or greenery of any kind. Most people spent their time indoors. As you can imagine, it was a very dreary place. Kind of like how we're spending a lot of time indoors, right? Let's see what this book does. Ooh. However, there was one boy who loved being outside. Even on drizzly days or rainy days, while everyone else stayed inside, you could always find Liam happily splashing through his neighborhood. Look at, he's got his rain boots on, he's going puddle jumping with a umbrella. It was on one such morning that Liam made several surprising discoveries. He was wandering around the old railway, as he did from time to time, when he stumbled upon a dark stairwell leading up to the tracks. The railway had stopped working ages ago. That means a long, long time ago. And since Liam had always wanted to explore the tracks, there was only one thing for the curious boy to do. Let's stop and think. Let's make a prediction. What do you think will happen? Do you think the little boy Liam is going to go up the steps to the top of the train tracks, or like they call it in the book, the railway. Let's find out. I think he will. Did he go up? Do you see this little building with the red roof? It's right here. So he went up and out. Wow, look at what he found up there. Huh. Look at that. Looks like plants, doesn't it? It looks like it stopped raining too. He put his umbrella down. Liam ran up the stairs, pushed open the door, and stepped out onto the railway. The first thing he saw was a lonely patch of color. Wildflowers and plants were the last things he had expected to find up there. But when he took a closer look, it became clear that the plants were dying. Oh, they needed a gardener. Do you know what a gardener is? A gardener is someone who takes care of a garden. They pull weeds, they water the plants, they take care of the plants. Do you have a garden at home? If you do, then you could be a gardener, or maybe your daddy or your mommy are gardeners, or maybe you have a gardener that comes and takes care of your flowers. If you don't have a garden, maybe you can talk to your parents about making one. Gardens are very cool. It's fun to grow plants. Let's see what Liam does. Do you think Liam will be a gardener? Oh. Wow. Look at, he's dumping a whole bucket of water on the plant. Liam may not have been a gardener, but he knew that he could help, so he returned to the railway the very next day and got to work. The flowers nearly drowned, and he had a few pruning problems. That means he was trimming the tree, kind of like giving it a haircut to keep it healthy, but he cut off a little bit too much there. But the plants patiently waited while Liam found better ways of gardening. So he learned that he dumped a little too much water on the plants there. He learned that he cut off a little bit too much of that plant. And then what is he doing in this picture? What do you think he's doing? Yeah, he's singing to those plants. Do you think they like it? Singing is awesome. Who doesn't like singing? As the weeks went by, Liam began to feel like a real gardener, and the plants began to feel like a real garden. There he is. He's practicing his new skill of being a gardener. Most gardens stay in one place, but this was no ordinary garden. With miles of open railway ahead of it, the garden was growing restless. It wanted to explore. The tough little weeds and mosses were the first to move. They popped up farther and farther down the tracks and were closely followed by the more delicate plants. Look! Wow, it looks like almost like a green road, doesn't it? So the plants kept growing and spreading and spreading and spreading. Over the next few months, Liam and the Curious Garden explored every corner of the railway. Every little corner. Wow. These pages don't have any words. So let's read the picture together. What do you see on this picture? You can tell whoever you're with right now. What do you see in the picture? I see lots and lots of flowers. I think these are called daisies. They're white with yellow in the middle. But look at, Liam is standing right in the middle of that huge patch of daisies. But I noticed something else. Do you see these lines? What does that look like to you? Does it look like a train track? Oh my goodness. What I think has happened in this picture is that the garden has gone so curious that it had grown over the railroad tracks that aren't used anymore. So it's okay that the plants are there. Wow, look how beautiful that looks. Oh, this page also doesn't have any words on it, so let's read the picture again. I see Liam back there. You see him? He's looking, it looks like he's looking over the edge of the railway. But do you see all these plants? It also looks like so here he is in a t-shirt. And then here he is in a scarf and a jacket. Do you think it's getting colder and colder out? Maybe the seasons are changing? Oh! Did the seasons change? What season is it now? Remember, seasons are like summer, spring, autumn or fall, and winter. After spending his spring and summer and autumn with the garden, Liam's time on the railway was finally interrupted by winter. Heavy blankets of snow fell on the city that season, and for the first time since he'd become a gardener, Liam could not visit the plants. Why couldn't he visit his plants? Yeah, the snow is covering it. And look, do you see Liam? What's he doing? I'll give you a clue. I don't know if you know what that is. That's kind of like an old-fashioned looking sled. So it looks like Liam and a couple of his friends are going to go sledding. But do you see that he's looking at his garden? Oh, I think he might miss his garden. Rather than waste his winter worrying about the garden, Liam spent it preparing for spring. Preparing means to get ready for. So what do you think he's doing to get ready to take care of his garden? What's he doing? He's reading. Do you see what's on his book? What's on the cover of his book right there? Yeah, I think that is a book about flowers and plants. So maybe he's doing some research to find out how to take care of them a little better. After 3 cold months, the snow finally began to melt, and Liam rolled his new gardening gear over to the railway. Look at what's inside his wheelbarrow. What do you see in his wheelbarrow? I recognize that from his time of getting ready for spring, preparing for spring. I also see a watering can and a rake that loosens the soil, and even a shovel. Do you have any of those tools at home for your own garden? I bet you might have something at home. So he's wheeling all those things to the railway. Winter had taken a toll on the garden. That means winter sort of changed it. It kind of turned back into brown plants, and they're looking kind of sad, huh? But that's what happens in winter. Ooh. But thanks to Liam's planning, his handy new tools, and a little help from the sun, the plants soon awoke from their winter sleep. Oh, and do you see? He's pouring just enough water onto those plants, and he's trimming just a little bit of that plant. I'm going to go back to the other page where he did too much. Remember when he did too much? And then he did some reading to learn about plants. And now he knows how to do it just right. And he's still singing to them. There's that book again. Wow. He's becoming a really good gardener. the garden had always wanted to explore the rest of the city, and that spring it was finally ready to make its move. Once again, the tough little weeds and mosses set out first. They popped up farther and farther from the railway and were closely followed by the more delicate plants. The garden was especially curious about old, forgotten things. Wow, look. That looks like a very old truck. Do you see all the plants growing in that truck? Oh my goodness, it doesn't have wheels either, but look at the plants are growing out of where the engine goes and even in the back and through the front right here. Wow. And the plants even found little cracks in the sidewalk to grow through, little windows and nooks and crannies that are forgotten about. Plants like to pop up everywhere. I wonder what kinds of plants you can find outside popping up in cracks of sidewalks and things like that. A few plants popped up where they didn't belong. What do you think that is? What kind of sign do you think that is? Do you recognize how it's sort of got a lot of sides and it's red? What does red mean? Stop. But can people read that stop sign with all those plants on it? No, that's not safe. So he's gonna have to take those down. And look at, there's another plant wrapped around a fire hydrant. If there's a fire, if there's an emergency and the fire department has to hook their hose up to that, that needs to be clear. So that's why he's pulling those plants off of the fire hydrant. Plants don't know if it's okay to grow where they grow, right? They don't know. Other plants mysteriously popped up all at once. Oh my goodness. Look at this. Who do you think that is? Red hair. A wheelbarrow. He's putting some surprise plants on the ground and at someone's house. A pot of plants. It looks like Liam is spreading the garden around too. But the most surprising things that popped up were the new gardeners. Look at all the people wanting to garden. There's lots of kids that want to garden. Look, there's lots of people tending to all their plants. Playing in the plants maybe. Frolicking. Oh, one of them's mowing the grass. Some other people are visiting over here. And they have wheelbarrows and they're gardening too. Wow. So Liam has made lots of people want to be gardeners. Oh, this page doesn't have any words either, but it has lots of pictures. So I'm going to take you through each one. So here you can see even the steps are lined now in plants. Do you think those are the steps to the railway? Here you see Liam is on a picnic with his friend. And you know what? It looks to me like he's a little taller. This might show him getting older. He's getting older now. Time's going by. Wow, look at the water. Look at the wildlife. That bird caught a fish. Wow, look at those lily pads. They're able to jump from one to the next. Ooh, look at those big bushes. Wow. That's called a topiary. When trees or bushes are cut in the shape of something, it's called a topiary. A couple more here. Look, there's this big tree and everyone is going out of their windows. And one child is even climbing it. But everyone's trying to take care of it. And here's a stinky old factory. But look how beautiful it is now with those plants. Oh, and someone's even painting a picture, it looks like. Wow. Oh, wow. There's a lot of things to notice on this page. Where's Liam? Many of you probably think that this is Liam, but look at his hair. Liam's hair is straight, and this child's hair is sort of curly and bumpy. Wait a minute, I recognize her. Look. So this shows that Liam got bigger and older, and now he has a wife, and he has a daughter and a son. And there's Liam. Look at that. So he grew up, he got married and had a couple kids, and now they take care of the garden. It says many years later, the entire city had blossomed. But of all the new gardens, Liam's favorite was where it all began, on top of the railway. Look how big that tree got too. You guys remember how big it was in the beginning? Look how tiny it is. And now it's huge. That must have been lots of years later, because trees usually take a long time to grow. Just like you. Wow. This page doesn't have words either, but look at how beautiful and green that city is now. Sometimes it helps me to go back into the book and remember what it looked like before. Look at how dreary that looked. And now, beautiful. Why do you think it's important to have plants? There's a lot of detail on this page too. Let's see if we can find out. Oh, there's a scarecrow on top of that building. Tree houses. There's that old truck, I think. There's lots of windmills people are using to create energy for power. And it looks like these people are playing a game on top. It looks like they're throwing a frisbee or a ball. Oh, and this person hung a hammock between two trees and is relaxing. There's the topiaries. Oh, this looks like a park for dogs. They have dog parks all around. Sometimes I take Princess the dog to a dog park. You can still see the railway. There is the boy, Liam, the boy who has a son and a daughter now, and a wife. Wow. So much detail in these pictures. The end. Look at the difference between that tiny little garden and now it's blossomed into a beautiful, huge garden. I know that I would want to live in this kind of world, not in this kind of world. The end. I really hope you liked that read aloud of The Curious Garden. Parents, if you would like to, I encourage you to take your children out for a walk outside and to find all the different kinds of plants that are growing in forgotten places. I know I have some to show you, and maybe even some other life that's coming out now that it's coming to springtime. Maybe you see some flowers blooming, or maybe you see some animals that you haven't seen for a while. So happy reading, enjoy, have a good week.